And we have Jews and Christians who say that the stories in the Quran have been copied from the Bible. What makes them say this, what's the main reason, is because we've accepted many of the narrations and we've taken them up. We've interpreted the Quran using the narrations. So, inshallah, what I plan on doing in this series is to give a Quranic narrative. So I'm using Google Maps here. And in front of us we have the area which scholars say was where Nabi Yunus was prior to fleeing, Nainawa. And this is actually close to a city called Mosul, fil Iraq, in Iraq. Now, the Quran says in Surah As-Safat, it says, وَإِنَّ يُونُسَ لَمِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ. Indeed, Yunus a.s. was from the messengers. إِذْ أَبَقَ إِلَى الْفُلْكِ الْمَشْحُونَ. When he fled to the loaded ship. The fact that it was described as mashhoon, which means that it was filled with cargo and passengers, so it was a place where he wanted to escape from. But notice it said abaqa, he fled. It didn't use the word safara or sara or something that relates to traveling. Because if we look at where Nainawa is, now when we talk about bodies of water where a whale exists, around this area, the closest is more than 400 kilometers away. We have the Caspian Sea, we have the Mediterranean Sea. What I'm suggesting is it was not in Nainawa. It was actually in a coastal town. And why do I suggest this? إِذْ أَبَقَ إِلَى الْفُلْكِ الْمَشْحُونَ. So he went straight to it. He fled to this ship. So if he had traveled 400 kilometers, and mind you, these areas were very mountainous. So this would have taken possibly a week, even longer, to travel this. And the difficulties involved, none of this actually is mentioned. So this would suggest that he was in a coastal town. Now, if we went with the common narrative, which is that it was Nainawa, then one would have to imply that Nabi Yunus fled for 400 kilometers on foot until he got to a coastal town and then boarded the ship to flee. But he already traveled 400 kilometers. So what was the purpose of going on the ship? And why was the ship associated with him fleeing? You can see there's some sort of inconsistency with this narrative. And that's why I'm suggesting that the town he was in was a coastal town. And who did he flee from is another question. Did he flee from the punishment that Allah was sending to his people? Or was he fleeing from the people themselves? Who gave him permission to flee? No prophet in the Quran disobeys the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And no prophet is punished. In the same surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَقَدْ سَبَقَتْ كَلِمَتُنَا لِعِبَادِنَا الْمُرْسَلِينَ إِنَّهُمْ لَهُمُ الْمَنْصُورُونَ وَإِنَّ جُنْدَنَا لَهُمُ الْغَالِبُونَ. And our word has already preceded for our servants, the messengers. Indeed, they are victorious. And indeed, our soldiers will be those who overcome. This is in the same surah where it mentions Yunus a.s. fleeing